Hi, very good morning. Today we are learning about leadership, international leadership, and it's a topic about the comparative analysis of leadership in international about Justin Trudeau and Fumio Kishida. So let us start with our group mates. Coming to our teammates, Jagan Kumar Matthews and Tejasvi Datta Kumar Sindhuja Srikaran. So let us start by introduction of the topic. So, introduction is about the examining the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and former Prime Minister of Fumio Kishida. The both offers a unique lens into how political figures operates within vastly different cultural and institutional frameworks. Trudeau progressives are very transformational approach contrasts with Kishida's pragmatic consensus driven leadership shaped by Japan's political so both leaders are navigative crises ranging from economic instability to diplomatic intentions, applying varying degrees of adaptability and people-centric strategies. The analysis draws on transformational behavior, situations, path, goal, and theories to access the leadership style and strategic effectiveness and public engagement. So these theoretical perspectives are unable to are enable a critical understanding of how leadership influences national governance and reform momentum, ultimately supporting a deeper exploration of these trends, limitations, and future potential of political leader in complex environment in Japan 2024. So, background of Justin Trudeau is about like leader one, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Canada. Justin Trudeau was born on 25th December 1971 in Ottawa, in Canada. Within a political prominent household influenced by former Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau's legacy, earned a Bachelor of Arts in English Literature from McGill University in 1994 and a Bachelor of Education from the University of British Columbia in 1998, indicating strength in communication and pedagogy. Valen felt in 2019. So, professional background includes roles in education and national youth development, not only chairing academic 2002-2006 prior to being elected member of parliament for PIU in 2008. So, appointment leader of the Liberal Party in 2013 and elected as Canada's 23rd Prime Minister in 2015 with subsequent re-elections in 2019 and 2021 with a focus of exclusive governance in like complete action, climatic action and progressive reform. Next slide. So coming to the leadership style and achievements, Justin Trudeau, his leadership styles are reflects a progressive, inclusive approach emphasizing diversity, equity, and climate responsibility, aligning with transformational leadership principles. And key achievements are a key milestone was the formation of Canada's first gender balanced federal cabinet in 2015, demonstrating a strong commitment to gender equity in governance. Key in 2015, Trudeau promoted pro-immigration policies, notably accepting Syrian refugees and defending multiculturalism during the 2015 campaign, positioning Canada as a global advocate of inclusivity. Environmental priorities shaped his agenda with actions like implementing carbon pricing and joining global climate accords, while oil sands and pipeline projects drew criticism and efforts were made need to be balanced sustainable with economic growth.
The theory
So
one.
coming to the theory one, transformational leadership. So transformation leadership involves vision, charisma, intellectual stimulation, and a strong
Teju,
orientation towards change.
wait,
Trials
wait, wait.
2015 campaign.
This mine.
You said till slide 5. It's still slide
This is
5.
sixth one, no?
You changed the PPT.
1 to
It's
5
okay.
is already finished, Teju.
It's okay. It's okay. Continue. Continue.
Mute le Jagan.
Jagan, tell
You
me
can
what
continue
happened.
on this. You can continue on this slide, Matthew. We can be editing the Filmora. I will
Right.
share your video. Like
Okay.
all
இன்னொரு
time.
என்ன
Okay.
விஷயம்னா
Okay.
அந்த பிரெக்கெட்டுக்குள்ள இருக்கிறதெல்லாம்
Now,
வாசிக்கிறது
friendly.
அவைலபிள் அவை வந்து ரெஃபரன்ஸ் எடுத்திருக்கிற
Now,
மாதிரி இருக்கு
இல்ல இல்ல
அதான்
அக்கா
வாசிக்கிறது
அது
இல்ல
ஒவ்வொருத்தவங்களோட அது விருப்பம் அதை விட்டுருங்க அது ஓகே ஆகும் டைம் நமக்கு 20 மினிட்ஸ்
அதான்.
வேணும். அது எப்படி கவர் ஆனாலும்
இல்ல
ஓகே.
பேஜ் வாசிச்சுட்டு
Now my
மற்றது நீங்க செய்யறாங்களா
teammate will continue.
இல்ல
Now my teammate will continue this slide.
Theory 1, the transformational leadership. The transformational leadership involves vision, charisma, intellectual stimulation, and a strong orientation towards change. Trudeau's 2015 campaign themed Real Change exemplified visionary leadership because it promoted optimism, inclusive reform. Trudeau used emotionally resonant messaging to champion multiculturalism, climate action, and refugee reset, which mobilized diverse voter segments. Key achievements include a gender balanced cabinet, cannabis legalization, and commitment to the Paris Agreement, thereby reflecting progressive transformation. Trudeau's direct public engagement through social media and town halls demonstrates individualized consideration with transparency. Setbacks such as pipeline expansion and the abandonment of electoral reform commitments highlight tensions, transformational ideals, and the policy implementation. Theory 2, Behavioral Theory. Justin Trudeau reflects a strong people-focused leadership through inclusive governance. Notable examples include a gender-balanced cabinet, indigenous reconciliation efforts, and active promotion of multicultural values. Moreover, his openness to civil liberties, such as protecting freedom of expression even in a political sensitive contexts, reinforces his emphasis on interpersonal engagement and national unity. Trudeau has shown decisiveness through structured action, cabinet reshuffles to address defense scandals, and by appointing climate-focused ministers like Stephen Goldbilt. The handling of international tensions, including the Niger incident, demonstrate diplomatic management while upholding domestic freedoms. Trudeau's leadership aligns with behavioral theory by balancing people centric values with results driven decision making, shaping both domestic and foreign policy action. The critical evaluation of theories. Transformational leadership provides a valuable lens to interpret Trudeau's vision-led and change-oriented style. He's focused on progressive policies, inclusive representation, and climate advocacy illustrate the motivational and inspirational dimension of this theory. However, critics argue that some symbolic action lacks substantive follow-through, revealing a gap between rhetoric and consistent transformation. Behavior theory highlights Trudeau's people-oriented leadership demonstrated through civil liberties, multicultural engagement, and cabinet diversity. Nevertheless, limitations arise when policy outcome conflicts with these values, such as in arms deals or indigenous right controversies, which shows inconsistent between personal style and practical governance. In combination, these theories interlink by showing how to do balance interpersonal sensitivity with agenda setting. Both theories may oversimplify complex political trade-offs and institutional pressures that constrain leadership behavior in practice.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm Sindhuja. I'm here to explain about the background of Fumio Kishida. He's the Prime Minister of Japan. Political profile and leadership context. Fumio Kishida served as Japan's Prime Minister from 2000, representing the moderate Kishida functions of the LDP. His leadership style focused on diplomacy, institutional stability, and restoring public trust during a period of political and social uncertainty. So, focus on strategic directions. Kishida prioritized national security and foreign policy, raising defense spending to 2% of GDP and enhancing counter-strike capabilities. His administration deepened alliances with the US, NATO, and regional partners while promoting multilateralism and Indo-Pacific stability as G7 chair in 2023. And when we talk about the leadership style and the achievements of the Kishida, Fumio Kishida demonstrates pragmatic, reform-driven leadership focused on revitalization through inclusive capitalism. His approach balances economic growth with social sustainability, promoting resilience, innovations, and international cooperations. And the key achievements of strategic visions: new form of capitalism, a dual focus on a growth redistribution, prioritize, including investigate in people, innovations, green transformations, assets, income growth, and the global integrations. And when we talk about the labor and the human capital reform, advocated a job-based pace, reskilling, gender equity, and the empowerment of women and youth in the workforce. Green investment committed to $720 billion in green investments over a decade, and in nuclear energy reform to support carbon neutrality by 2050. Economic diplomacy promoted Japan-US cooperations, semiconductor supply chains, and regional economic stability via Indo-Pacific and G7 engagements. Capital market reform strengthened corporate governance and launched NYSE TSE Corporation for global investment confidence. Kishida's leadership aligns economic reform with social equity, aiming to make Japan a global model of sustainable capitalism. And the rest of the slides will be explained by Mr. Jagan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's this slide represents of situational leadership. Situational leadership theory explains Kisido's adaptability during crises like inflation and political scandals. However, it lacks depth in addressing long-term vision, an area where Kishida was criticized, especially on economic recovery. Path goal theory reflects his use of directive and supportive leadership through reforms like new capitalism and diplomacy. Still, it overlooks the deeper structural and factional challenges in Japanese politics. Overall, both theories help explain Kishida's leadership by showing how he blends short-term flexibility with goal-driven direction to manage Japan's complex political, economic, and international environment. Next slide. Yeah, theory two. This slide presents path goal theory, a leadership theory that focuses on how leaders can help followers achieve their goals by clearing the path and removing obstacles. It emphasizes that a leader's role is to guide, support, and motivate their team towards success. The image features Fumio Kishida, who became Japan's Prime Minister on October 4, 2021. His leadership can be examined through the lens of path goal theory, as he took office during a challenging time and had to clarify Japan's political path, address economic concerns, and build public trust, showcasing how effective leaders adopt their style to help their nation progress. Critical evaluation of theories. Kishida. Situational leadership theory effectively explains Kishida's adaptability during crises, as he adjusted his leadership style in response to inflation, scandals, and political pressure. The theory lacks depth in long-term visioning, which was a key criticism of Kishida's tenure, particularly concerning Japan's stagnant economic recovery. Pathgoal theory highlights Kishida's dual use of directive and supportive behaviors, as seen in his clear economic reform and diplomatic efforts. Nevertheless, the theory's focus on individual motivation does not fully account for Japan's cultural political complexities and factionalism within the LDP. Both theories explain Kishida's balanced leadership style as they combine short-term adaptability with policy-driven guidance. The synergy emerged in how he applied situational awareness to adjust strategies while using goal-oriented direction to navigate Japan through economic, political, and geopolitical challenges.
Leadership comparison, Tadao versus Kishida. So in them, both of them, the similarities are that both leaders emphasizes diplomatic engagement and multilateralism, Trinidad in climate and human rights, Kishida in Indo-Pacific security and economic partnerships. Each demonstrated supportive leadership traits evident and Tyrosa's inclusive governance and Kishida peoples focused on economic policies. Robertson 2023. And coming to the context, Trinidad operates in Western liberal dramatic context, often prioritizing civil liberties and identifying politics, while Kishida, shaped by Japan's conservative and inherited political culture, focuses on security stability and structural reform. Triado showed a charisma and interpersonal engagement, and Kishida displayed a cautious consensus building style, especially within his party's fictions Nagy in 2023. And coming to the decision making, Trinidad often used a transformative leadership approach, openly addressing that social justice issues, and Kishida leaned on a situational and directive method, shifting leadership tone, admit precise and railing on economic tools and defense reforms to state policies. Now my friend will continue the next slide.
Thank you, Teju. When we talk about the recommendations for Trudeau, enhance strategic clarity through path goal strategies. Trudeau should adopt a direct leadership style to offer clearer guidance on national issue and unify diverse stakeholders towards defined strategic objective, and setting transparent goals and accountability mechanisms can enhance public trust, improve policy coordinations, and strengthen coherence across government decisions making process. And when deepen leadership development via evidence-based feedback systems, implementing 360-degree feedback and performance metrics enables Trudeau's team to track progress and improve adaptability to dynamic policy environment. Evidence-based development systems promote leadership's agility, enhance civil servant effectiveness, and reinforce inclusive governance with measurable behavioral improvement. And when we talk about the recommendations for Kishida, integrate transformational traits to energize public and youth engagement. Pricing inspirational motivations and individualized considerations could have helped Kishida better connect with illustrated watchers, especially amid scandals and low youth turnout. Incorporating transformational traits like empathy, bold visioning, and personal charisma may have improved public confidence and reduced political engagement among younger demographic, and expand visionary communications for stronger reform momentum. Kishida's complex reforms such as new capitalisms and defense expansions needed clear, emotionally resonant messaging to mobilize broader public and intra-party support. Enhancing visionary communications through narrative framing and inclusive storytelling could have sustained reform momentum and bridged policy gaps with citizens. And rest of the slides will be continued by Mr. Matthew.
Key learnings from Trudeau and Kishida. Through the analysis of Justin Trudeau and Fumio Kishida, we have gained valuable insights into constructing yet effective leadership styles. We observed that Trudeau embodies transformational and people-oriented leadership, where inclusive values, charisma, and emotional intelligence are central to driving progressive reforms. We learned how his emphasis on multiculturalism, climate advocacy, and gender equity helped him connect with diverse communities and mobilize public trust. On the other hand, we found that Kishida's leadership is more adaptive and directive, aligning with situational and path goal theories. We saw how he responded to economic and political challenges through conceptual flexibility, such as introducing the 720 billion green investment plan and raising defense spending to 2% of GDP. By studying both leaders, we learned that effective international leadership requires a balance of visionary communication and structural responsiveness. We understand that different contexts call for different styles and that combining emotional engagement with strategic clarity is key to navigating today's complex global landscape. Balance Light is conducted by Mr. Jagan.
Conclusion. The leadership of Justin Trudeau and Fumio Kishida was analyzed using transformational and behavioral theories of Trudeau and situational and path goal theories of Kishida. Trudeau exemplified charismatic and inclusive leadership through initiatives such as a gender balancer cabinet, climate commitments, and pro-immigration policies through certain reforms lacked consistent implementation. In contrast, Kishido's leadership displayed adaptability and directive decision making, responding to inflation standards and geopolitical tensions through strategic reforms like new capitalism and increased defense spending. While Trudeau prioritized emotional engagement and progressive values, Kishido focused on political stability and long-term policy direction. These contrasting approaches underscore that effective international leadership is not confined to one style, but instead requires a context-sensitive combination of vision, flexibility, cultural competence, and strategic clarity, adapted to in evolving political, economic, and society challenges. And we are included our references on the slide. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.